Good morning, people. So I've got some very important information here which I'm going to be reading shortly. I'll just give Facebook time to do the notification stuff and see who's around. Okay, so this is very important stuff. I've just spent an hour and a half going through this with a parent on the card. I'm not going to say who, what or where this person is, but I'm going to start with the letter that this person received this morning and the outcome so far. This is scary stuff for financial nominees, or for those who are not financial nominees but possible correspondence nominees. Okay, so a bit of a backstory of a person who was raced to hospital and through flying doctor's service, and because that person had no one to care for the other children involved, was basically sign these forms, because children had to go into care for that temporary period while the parent was in hospital. That's fine. Nobody explained what the forms were. This was way over a year ago. Children were returned to the parent's care as soon as parent was released and sent back home. So child services did their thing there, and nothing more was ever thought about it. Okay, so the letter is: Dear card holder, payment nominees and changes to the conditions of use. We are making changes to the cashless debit card program to support account holders who appoint a payment nominee who is either a cashless debit card program participant or is subject to income management. So this applies to Basics card as well. Payment nominee and the cashless debit card program. A payment nominee is a person who has been appointed through Services Australia to receive and manage income support payments of Department of Veterans Affairs, DVA, payments on behalf of an individual. Okay? After 17th of March 2021, if you appoint a payment nominee who is either a cashless debit card program participant or is subject to income management, your payment nominee will be issued a Visa card on your behalf to access funds in your account, and will be provided access to your online account. And your Visa card will be automatically cancelled and you will no longer be able to access your account online. The use of the Visa card and online account by a payment nominee are subject to the same restrictions that apply to you. Any payments made by a payment nominee will be considered a payment by you, including for the purposes of the external transfer limit, the daily limit for Visa card transactions, and the total daily payment limit. In addition, your payment nominee will be able to contact our customer service centre and make requests in relation to your account on your behalf, and you will receive correspondence regarding your account, including account statements. Your payment nominee may request that the Visa card they hold on your behalf be cancelled and a Visa card be issued to you. In doing so, you will also have access to your online account, in addition to your payment nominee, whose access will not be revoked unless the payment nominee relationship is ended with Services Australia. You can discuss and manage your payment nominee arrangements by contacting Services Australia. Changes to the conditions of use we will be updating our conditions of use to reflect the above changes. We are also making a number of other changes which are summarised below. By activating a card, a payment nominee will be agreeing to the conditions of use. We may collect and use a payment nominee's personal information in the same way that we collect and use your personal information. We may cancel or suspend a payment nominee's Visa card or access to your online account for security reasons or to protect the money in your account. Updating the definition of eligible income support payment volunteer, I don't know where to get that one, program participant, program area to reflect recent changes to the definitions in the Social Security Administration Act 1999 Commonwealth, and introducing new terms that only apply to future participants who have a postal address in the Northern Territory, Cape York area at the time their account is opened. A copy of the updated conditions of use will be available from our website. So, a lady who is not in the Northern Territory or Cape York today received that letter this morning. So, first course of action, gets on the phone to Indu to find out that someone else has financial nominee status over her account and that her card is going to be cancelled, possibly as early as this Friday, and whoever the financial nominee will be taking control. So she's trying to figure out, well, who is the financial nominee? Indu refused to tell her. Right? Now, this person has gone through Centacare, and so she's gone in to Centrelink this morning, and she has removed whoever, right, as a nominee. Now, she's only ever consented to correspondence nominee that she's aware of, right? She's never consented to financial nominee, whoever this person is. Now, due to the fact she's just got this letter today and no one's informed her of any of this, okay, prior, Centrelink cannot guarantee that she will get paid this week on her card. They cannot guarantee that they can stop this process taking place. Meanwhile, she's got to try and figure out who the nominee is, because Centrelink can't tell her who the nominee is. However, they have told her, since she's gone in this morning, right, that they've stopped the process, but they don't know how long it'll take to actually stop. It could still happen, right? And that the Centacare, or whoever it is at Centacare, has already been sent the card. The card's already been sent to them. Apparently, according to Centrelink, they won't be able to activate the card. We'll see. At this stage, no one else has activated the card. Of course, this parent is absolutely beside herself because she's really scared about what to do if this goes through. Who the hell is the nominee that's financial nominee, right? A couple of weeks ago, she got notification from Centacare that she was no longer one of their clients, okay? And so, yeah, so she's no longer one of their clients. So even if she had signed any form of nominee status with them, it would be null and void, right? Yet Indu have sent a card out to Centacare, to somebody, but they won't say who, and they've sent her this letter, and they've told her that her payments will be cut off if it doesn't get sorted out. Centrelink can't guarantee that because she's gone in there so late. She should have sorted this about a month ago, apparently. However, she got this letter today, all right? And she's gone straight in there, and they can't guarantee that they can stop the process and that she's going to need to attend a tribunal to stop the process. Meanwhile, how's she going to feed her kids when she doesn't even know who the nominee is? She doesn't know who's holding the card and who will be holding her money. So you understand? So she has not been through the public trustee. She has not been through the guardianship board. This is a breach in that it is usurping the rule of law, and it is making people on the card in this situation will be fully controlled by whichever organisation they're going through or have gone through for support. Now, this person has been through so much trauma because of all of her issues in the past, but she didn't ask to be put on the card. This was the DV service through Centacare who transferred her to Indu, right, to Seduna, put on the card. Sorry, I didn't want to tell people where she was, but I'm so bloody angry, and so is she. She's so worried about other people as well, about other carers that are going to be in this situation, right? which institutions, which churches are going to be taking control of people's lives without their knowledge, right? And they're not allowed, Hindu and Centrelink are not telling the people who are being nominated as the financial nominee, who is going to be holding that person's card. Now, if this doesn't go through and it doesn't negate by the end of the week, or when her next pay cycle comes through and she doesn't, and her card's cancelled, she's got to go into a Centrecare office and say, which one of you has got my card? Because you need to come shopping with me now because I need to buy my food and I need to pay my bills. And yes, how can this be legal? Right? Right? How can this be legal? Alright, this letter is confusing at best because it talks about DVA payments. Okay? But the person that I'm dealing with is not on DVA. Okay? But she is on the card. Alright? It talks about Northern Territory, Cape York and new applicants. This person isn't a new applicant. So what the hell are they playing at? I mean, this is absolutely disgusting. And I'm going to put a call out right now to all federal senators to start looking at this. You will be getting paperwork regarding this person's full story as soon as possible. You will be getting her story from woe to go, the whole lot, the way everything's been handled with this person is absolutely disgusting. It is causing absolute havoc in her life, in her kids' lives, right? And other things that are going on around. You're going to be horrified. I can't release everything that's going on at the moment, but this is just, it's gone too far. This has gone too far. We have the public trustee and the guardianship board where a person has the chance to prove capacity over their own finances and lives. We have that that is rule of law. It's set in place. It's law. Not for Indu and Services Australia to team up with God knows who, and because someone might have a correspondence nominee or someone signed a form in a hurry as they were being loaded onto a bloody flying doctor's plane, right? And they weren't explained as to what forms they were signing. This parent was just under the thing that she was signing the consents for her children to go into care while she was in hospital. Nothing to do with financial nominee status of her bank account from Centrelink. You know, this is ridiculous. And don't say that, Nikki, because they can knock on my door all they like. I'm not lying. I'm relaying what is happening to people. Right? This is, I'm just absolutely gobsmacked at what this is doing to parents, families. We're worried now of this. Okay. Put this into perspective, okay? If you've got intellectually disabled people that live in independent living arrangements under the group homes like Barkuma and things like that, they go through the guardianship process. They go through all of that and they make it legal, and then their institutions can do the nominee status to control the payments so that people can do their shopping and they can buy their food and they can have some money and stuff like that. Okay, that's a different ballgame. I'm talking about an individual person here who does not have a nominee, right, has never, ever had a carer for herself and has never signed off as a financial nominee for someone else to take over her finances. So she's scratching her head as to who was it? Which service provider was it, right? You know, which caseworker was it? Was it her financial counsellor? Who's done this? You know what I mean? And it's just horrific what's going on here. I'm just doing some. This is just. I'm mortified. I will be ringing senators myself. I've advised this person to do emails and ring all the senators. Senator Rex Patrick, you said you were going to help card holders in South Australia. Here's your opportunity, mate. Right? Senator Penny Wong, this lady needs you. Right? Senator Sarah Hanson-Young, this lady needs you. Senator Rachel Seward, all right? Linda Burney, MP, everybody needs to do this. Right? To have a letter arrive on the Monday, and on Friday, you don't know whether you're even going to get paid into your Indu card or whether it's going to be cancelled, and then, or when this is going to take place, because if it hasn't been able to be stopped and the Centrelink worker couldn't guarantee 100% that they couldn't stop this, right, then it's going to have to go to a tribunal. How long is that parent going to be without their income and only have their 20% before this is sorted out? Meanwhile, a stranger has access. Now, Centrelink's saying that the card cannot be accessed now, but they can't guarantee it. Indu won't say who the nominee is. Centrelink won't say who the nominee is. This is not on. How many more have they done this to? You know, nominee status requires consent of both parties, whether it be correspondence or financial. It requires the consent of both parties. She's only ever given correspondence consent. Well, that's what she was led to believe it was, right? In regards to her time in hospital. All right? And I am just absolutely disgusted with this. Completely disgusted because, yeah, I really don't know what to say. I'm so angry that this could happen to somebody, right? I'm just going to go back into... So she's been told that whoever's got the card won't be able to activate it, but they're not 100% sure. She doesn't trust any of them, and I don't blame her. Right? Centrecare, Centrelink, Indu. Right? And how can I be sure now that the card is not in my name? Whose name is on it? God knows. Right? And they won't tell her. So they've set this up to transfer 80% of her income to somebody else on a totally different card. Cancel her card. Without her knowledge or consent. No one sent her an email. No one's rang her. No one's consulted with her. Right? At all. And I don't get how they can do this. They're just going around the laws. They seem to think they were law unto themselves. Okay? When she had to go to the hospital via flying doctor, she was made quickly to sign several things, but she thought it was about her kids, other kids going into care. Right? She noticed a difference when she got home. She couldn't access her Centrelink advance on her payment, and ended up having to go into an office, and she had requested then to take Centrecare off as a nominee, because that's the only way she thought that was interfering with her ability to get her advance. And that was done over a year ago, but it appears it wasn't done. So now she's really worried, going through all this again today, right? What's going to happen? What is going to happen? You know, yeah. There's a lot more in this lady's story. There's things where her personal account, her whole file was posted on the internet, on social media, right? Because of a staff leakage of information, right? All sorts of things going on, and it's disgusting. So, my challenge to the senators is, You have to fix this. Because how many people are going to wake up to this letter, not understand what it's really about, then their next pay cycle, their card's cancelled, and they can't find out who the nominee is holding their money. All right? That's the bottom line. How many people are going to be impacted by this? According to that letter, it only applies to new applicants for payments that are being put on the card and the Northern Territory and Cape York. This person isn't in those areas. All right. So Kelly Marie says she did go in. And request that she was taken off. Yes, when she got her kids back after she got back from hospital, she went in and asked that the nominee status be removed because it was stopping her from accessing her advance payments that she's, everybody is eligible to those depending on what payment you're on, depends on what money you get, but you're allowed to apply for those. And she needed help with buying a pram. Okay? She needed to buy a double pram, and she went to get her advance, and she had to go in and sort it out. She had to get rid of whoever they were that was the nominee at the time in order to do it. Instead, she ended up having to go into Centrecare and get somebody, go to Centrelink with her to get it approved. And that's when she got it taken off last time. But they obviously didn't do it. They obviously did not do it. Right? This is just getting beyond... we have laws in this country to protect people, and this is where the difference is for people on the cashless debit card. The Protections of Payments Act under Social Security law has been exempted. People on the card are exempted from the protection under that act in order to get round the law and protect third-party payments, of third-party people like Hindu being able to take payments over. Because these people are not under the rule of law, they're not protected under that protection, Services Australia are getting a little bit bolder. And their stakeholders, obviously. You know what I mean? I really... This has got to stop. What's going on with these people, right? Because... anybody who's got a correspondence nominee approval that's correspondence. That's so that you can receive letters, or if you need to go into Centrelink and speak about that person, they can actually talk to you about the person without it breaching their privacy. Without that approval, they can't tell you anything. I went through that last fortnight with my daughter, right? But and a nominee, I've got a correspondence nominee status on my daughter's account. My daughter requested it. I accepted it. I had the choice of correspondence or financial. Right? If I was pressing financial, I had the choice to opt whether her money came to me or it went to her. Right? I put correspondence. I'm not a financial nominee for my daughter. And this is what this lady is getting at. She may have signed paperwork for what she believed to be correspondence nominee so that Centrecare could know what was going on regarding her children and everything, and so that the family could be reunited properly. What the hell is going on? Right? Since when... I do understand with disability support services, like, that have people in their care, but it's legal guardianship issues, they're protected under law. Because that's done through the guardianship and public trustee, right? It's not done through Centrecare. It's a different situation. I'm just reading the comments here because, yes, I agree. She needs some legal counsel on this. This is how they've circumvented legislation, forced volunteers. People are not volunteering for this card, and we know that. The next question is, how many people have Centrecare done this to without any legal oversight? Do people even know it's being done? So, somebody here, I never asked for a nominee, nor did I consent to have one. How the heck do I find out who has my card? That's right. I'm just reading the comments here. I really don't know what this situation... All I know is we need to get this out in the public, and we need the senators responding to it ASAP. And I'll be making phone calls. This lady's going to be doing all of her emails and everything. I mean, so someone else got the letter today. What's it even about? Is this their sad attempt to stop financial abuse, domestic financial abuse? Shana, ring Indu and find out what's going on, right? Because, yeah, this lady had no clue when she opened that letter this morning. When she rang up, she was told that, you know, it was all being handed over. Amanda, when the live's going, you can only see like the first 4 comments as they move. It's just the way it is. David says it's unconscionable that the inalienability of social security payments has been circumvented by this trial that they keep extending. Yes. We know that Senator Griff from Centre Alliance, who gave the casting vote to continue the card, yes, we know that. Kelly Marie says, even as a ward of the state, I didn't have to deal with this much crap. Precisely. But this is causing a lot of stress and trauma on a family that doesn't need it. And as soon as I can one day, I will share with you all the other stuff that's going on around this family with Centacare, and the way that she's trying to help other people and how others are trying to thwart her, and the impact this is having on a disabled child, right? So, because this is absolutely destruction of the worst. I wish I could just hug her, really do. I really do. I wish I could just stand there and give this person... So we won't know until Friday at least whether she gets paid or not on her card, or whether her card gets cancelled and some stranger in Centacare becomes her nominee, and then she has to go in there, find out who's got the card, drag them out to go shopping and pay bills, right? We won't know anything until she knows herself. And if this hasn't been able to be stopped, then she has to take it to a tribunal. That's all she's been told. Right? Which then, how many months is it going to be trying to get this through a tribunal and get this person, her payments, back onto her own Indu card that she didn't consent to? Remember, it was a DV service who sent her to Ceduna. They go the option of Ceduna or Bundaberg. That was it. Both card regions. So, this is just, this is not good enough. She's very concerned from the, looking at it from age pensioners' point of view as well, where somebody's a carer for an older parent that's got dementia or something like that, or you've got situations where somebody's in a care home situation that may not be on the pension yet, but even so, when the pension comes, right, that is in this situation where the care home, she's really concerned if this is going to stuff up her, what's it going to do to older people? You know? So, I'm going to be getting on the phone shortly. This is not good enough. I don't know how this can be legal. I don't know how they can do this. She doesn't know. She got this letter. All right, okay, so those that are coming in late, what's happened is the lady has received a changes to the nominee status. However, she wasn't aware that she had a nominee. She's an independent person with her kids, and she had no clue that there was a nominee status over her account. And on ringing Indu, she was told today that her card will be cancelled. Her nominee will be taking over her finances. All she knows is that the nominee could be in centre care because of a situation where she had to fly to hospital and she had to sign papers for family services to be able to take care of her kids while she was in hospital. She thought that paperwork was to do with that side of things. She's only ever given them correspondence nominee, she thinks, not financial nominee. She wasn't aware of any of this. And last year she tried to get an advance and she couldn't, and she had to get a worker from Centrecare to go to Centrelink with her to get her an advance approved for a new pram. She got the nominee taken off then, or that's what she was told. Turns out it didn't happen. It reminds me of uploading documents, and they find out they're shredded. Right, so this time round she went in this morning and has asked for that nominee status to be taken off. Indu cannot tell her who the nominee person is. Centrelink won't tell her who the nominee person is. She has no idea. It could be one of 3 people in the centre care office where she lives. She has no idea. They've already been sent the card. According to Centrelink this morning, they won't be able to activate that card now, but they can't be guaranteed because of the late stage that she's come in and made the complaint. So this poor parent has to wait until the end of the week when she would normally get a pay cycle come through, and then she'll find out whether her card's been cancelled, right? She also has no access to her online portal on her phone because her phone technology can't do it. So she's blind. She won't know until her card declines when she tries to go shopping on Friday. Right? She already had the card decline trying to shop last week and ended up having to go to another shop and pay dearer, spend more money paying for more expensive goods than the ones that she wanted to buy because, the particular shop she tried to use, the card declined, and they have to race out the back and get a portable EFTPOS machine and try that one. So she got so embarrassed, she walked out, went up the road to another business where the same goods are more expensive, but she knows the card won't decline. Right? And all I know is that Spry's business is where the card keeps declining for her, and she's had enough. You know what I mean? That's the home shop there. So there's a lot of stuff going on. It's very nasty over there at the moment. This person and their family are being terrorised by that town anyway, and it's not good enough. But so please, people who are getting this letter, ring Indu and ring Centrelink and find out who these nominees are. Find out if you have one or you haven't got one. If you've got a correspondence nominee, make sure that it is correspondence and they haven't changed it to financial. This is just, it's mind-blowing, isn't it? I mean, for God's sakes, they come in, they take over your pay, they give the money to Indu, and then you've got all these strangers. And now they want to do this where they're actually cancelling people's cards and handing over control to strangers completely. So, yeah. Get on the phones to your senators and say they've got to stop this. This is ridiculous. I'm sure we'll be getting on the phone today. And I know that this parent will be doing the best to get her emails. And I've told her to put everything in the emails, everything from where to go on how she ended up in Seduna, how she got in the card, and everything that's being done to this family at the moment in regards to housing, right, in regards to how her NDIS is going and the treatment she's being treated by other services in Seduna at the moment. I'm not going to mention names, but I've got a horrific story about one of the services and certain points of racism, right? And it's all being covered up with, how dare you shame the town? How dare you bring our town into disrepute? No. Rowan Ramsey, Alan Suter, Alan Tudge, Chamber of Commerce and selected people have done this to this town and these townspeople. And when people stand up and start speaking out about it, these certain people start bullying, right? And this family is being terrorised. Is being absolutely terrorised every which way they go. And it has to stop. Because caught up in the middle of this is a little 5-year-old autistic non-verbal child who is absolutely imploding. Okay? And she doesn't understand any of what's been going on. But she's suffering the impacts of the social exclusion, right, of that town. And the non-safe living conditions of the public housing house that they're in. It's not good enough. So I've said to this parent, write everything. And write to all the senators. So here's your chance, Senator Rex Patrick. You said to me on the phone that day that you would stand up for a card holder in South Australia. Right? I've directed her to contact you. I've directed her to contact Senator Pennyworth, Rachel Seward, Linda Burney, all right? Everybody, because this is not good enough. How many people are going to be in this situation? I say, so Kelly Marie says it's odd that they put you on a card to manage your finances, but according to that letter, they'll give another CDC holder your finances to manage. So normally, in a situation where you have a disabled adult child who they were putting on the card early in the day, and their parents were financial nominees for them, right? Most of those that were put on the card with disabilities that had nominees were exempted from the card and removed off the card program, because there was no need for them to be on the card. They had already been assessed as non-capable, right? So the payment nominee was looking after the money. The changes here impact how that works for a payment nominee. And it's like, in this situation, this is an adult parent with children who was not aware that a financial nominee had been made for her without her consent. You know, this is... So how many screw-ups are they going to do? You know, since when do you hand over financial nominee status? What? The only way she can see this has been done is when she entered Domestic Violence Services Refuge Support Centre Care, all right, for fleeing domestic violence. My God, I don't even know where Tara, Queensland is. Indu wouldn't even allow her to pay her rent on time. So this is Shana. You know, she had to move because Indu wouldn't let her pay her rent on time. Nobody even out in Tara, Queensland knows what it is. Of course they don't. You're out of region. And they don't like to tell anybody out of region what's going on. But I would fight to get off and do your opt-out and keep fighting. And every time they reject it, do it again and take it to an AT tribunal. And every time the card fails or a bill's paid, report it to APRA, the Australian Financial Payments Complaints Authority, and the Ombudsman. That's what you need to do. And people need to keep doing it over and over and over again. All right, and also seek out legal community services, legal aid through community services. Not legal aid, but community legal services. So I will post a copy of this letter shortly, right? And Marge says maybe everybody needs to apply for be assessed for financial management. But the only way you can do that is go through the guardianship board and public trustee and go to court. And trust me that we had a parent who spent $2,040 to get an assessment done for her son's incapacity to be able to use the card because he couldn't use it because of his disabilities, and he was able to get off of it. But it took her over a year, and it took her $5,000 worth of seeing a clinical psychologist, the appointments, the reports, and to get a legal capacity assessment done on him to prove his non-capacity to be able to use the card. So she was a financial nominee. I don't know how this is going to impact her family at all. I don't know. You know, so. All right, people, I will come back on if I find out any more. And we will just have to all wait till the end of the week until I find out from this person whether their pay cycle goes through normally or not. It may not even impact her this fortnight. It may impact her next fortnight. She doesn't know. It's stressed her out, you know. It's stressed her right out. Amanda, I'll let her know, okay? Because there's more to this as well. There's a lot more things going on in the background. And this lady would like to blow the lid on the lot, but we can't do it all at the moment, okay? It's just a lot more than just Indu and Indu cards and stuff like that. All right, guys, will you take care? And I will post up this documentation. I've just put it in like a really bland meme at the moment, just copies of the letters, because it's not right what they're doing to people. This is, yeah, this parent is just, she's beside herself, but she's also very angry and very concerned for other carers and for older people that have got dementia, that might be living in assisted accommodation, and she's one of these sorts of people like me. Is she thinks of the bigger picture straight away, and she's absolutely terrified for any, you know, anybody who might be in this situation. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.